Hi guys, we're in my workroom looking at the pile of junk. I've just found under my desk I got this basket of junk that I have looked at in a previous video, or at least not all of it. Yogurt pot, that might be handy. Got some empty cardboard reels. They would have been well, that's masking tape there, but they're empty. What I really liked in here was this bicycle. I bought it in a charity shop. It was broken when I bought it. I think it was only 50 pence or something, but I bought it because I rather fancied using these wheels for something. So I've been sitting here looking at this lot, thinking what can I make, and in my mind's eye I can see a dragster or a hot rod. That's the sort of bucket seat chassis body area. A couple of fat wheels, tyres for the back, and skinny front wheels for the front. I'm going to have to do something with them. They don't spin round or anything, they're not very free running. Well, that's sort of free running, but that one has got a solid bar through the middle, so I can't just stick a barbecue skewer axle through there. I'll have to drill that out or something. That one's linked onto that sprocket, and how to power it. Well, I've got one of these, a lint remover, and I know that's got a little electric motor in it. Takes 2 AA batteries, got an on-off switch, so I reckon if we convert that, put a pulley on it, we can use that to turn the wheels. It's not going to be a high-speed hot rod or dragster. I can always put sound effects on it to make it sound good, but I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to back wheels, chassis or body, front wheels, motor. I've got some bamboo sticks that I can make sort of a framework out of, so I'm going to get on and do that. I'm not going to do a step-by-step build. I'm going to stick it all together, probably spray paint it, make it look pretty, and then we'll probably just run it up and down the kitchen. I'm not going to put steering on it, I'll just make it straight. Well, I surprised myself there. I actually managed to drill a hole right through the middle of the hub on that one. It was only thin plastic anyway, and I expected to sort of shoot off at one side or the other because I'm just using a hand drill, but it's gone straight through the middle. So I can actually use, I think this is a bicycle spoke, and it spins nice and freely on that. The other wheel had quite a big hole in the middle, and I've filled that with a bit of plastic that I had and managed to drill a hole straight through the middle of that. So that's a double bonus. I didn't expect to be able to do that. So they both spin nice and freely. So that's my front wheels okay. I've drilled a hole in 4 corners of the yogurt pot and put 4 of my bamboo canes in there. I'm going to hot glue them in place, and I'll bring them together at the front with a bit of a gap in them, and then put the front axle at the front, logically, and hot glue that all together. Just looking at this bit of scrap plywood left over from one of those wooden clipped together kits. And I rather like the shape just there. I'm going to cut that out and use that at the front to glue these 4 canes to. It'll all become clear eventually, I'm sure. Don't know if we can quite see this in the camera. I've just taped the ends of the canes together at the moment. I'll glue this in place, and I'll also glue each of these in place in here, just hot glue them. While the glue's drying on that bodywork, we'll have a look at this lint remover. Oh, there we go. Right, we don't need the sharp blades, which are supposed to cut the lint or the fluff. We'll see if we can get that off. That was easy enough. I can't think of any use for saving those bits, so I'll dispose of them. The only vaguely useful thing that is the actual disc itself, but I'm going to chuck it away for now. So there's our impeller blade, which we don't want. How do we get this bit off? That should pop off as well. Slides that way, okay. So we can probably ease that off the motor. Yeah, that comes off easily enough. Might be useful for something. I won't throw that one away. What we need now is a pulley to go on there. Now we could make them, but I think I might actually have some. These are just random packs that you can buy on eBay. I'm pretty sure there's some pulleys in there. You actually want quite a small one for the motor end. That looks like a tiny one there. Yeah, it's a pretty tiny pulley. It's also got a tiny hole in it, a bit too small. Should we go daring, go a bit bigger? The bigger the pulley you put on the motor, the less power you're going to have. That's a bigger one. That's too big. That's sliding over the shaft. So I can either glue that or drill out the smaller one. I'll have a little look through here, see what else we've got. These are bigger gears that I've recovered out of printers. That one looks like it should have a toothed belt on it, belt drive. So that might do the job. Got some more under the bench, I'll have a little dig. I've just used a hot soldering iron to cut a big slot out of there, because what I'm going to do is mount the motor on the front that way up. That means that the rubber band or whatever belt I use has got to go from horizontal to vertical by the time it gets to where the back axle will be, which will be in here somewhere. So it's going to have a twist in it. That may well make it fall off, but we'll find out. Right, I couldn't find a pulley that I liked, so I'm going to have to make one. And at the same time we need to fill in these wheels so that we can put an axle through the middle. So I'll have to cut some cardboard to circles, glue it in, and then pop a hole right through the middle for the axle. I've got some thick cardboard here. It's an old book book cover. Sleeve, I don't know. Got some cardboard here that I've marked out circles for the insides of the wheels. I've also drawn some small circles on there to make the pulley. The pulley's going to be a bit smaller than I really wanted it to be, but at the moment I'm trying to fit it inside the yogurt pot. If it's too small, then I'll have to redo it and cut a slot in it so it actually goes outside. But we'll try it inside first. So I'll cut these out, glue them inside, and glue them onto the axle. I've taken the main body down into the garage and given it a coat of paint to make it look a bit prettier. So in the meantime I've just bent up these front axle stubs, I suppose we could call them. It's only one bend, two bends, roughly a Z shape, depending on which way you look at it, with a bit of plastic tubing there. I'll glue that to the side of the bodywork so that we can add steering if we want to. I've got some plastic beads there to space it out a bit, and then just bent it up at a right angle there to hold it in place. And that one's the mirror image, so it goes the opposite direction. So we should be able to link them together. And steer. So it's not my intention to give it steering at the moment, but I might do that in a later date. So I'll fix these for now. That's the chassis or body. I've given it a coat of undercoat or primer, and then silver. Not sure if I showed you that bit I put on the front there. That was just another bit of plywood out of one of those kits. I've just hot glued it on the front to hold the four bamboo canes in place. This is where I'll put the wheels, front wheels, the steering. And I'm also spray painting the back wheels. They've had a coat of grey primer. I've done the inside silver, and I'll do the main tyre black, just so it looks right. Right, there we are, that's the steering in place. Or as I keep saying, I'm not actually going to fit steering at the moment. What I'll do is I'll put a bar across here and probably a rubber band to there, just so we can adjust it so it goes straight. But we have always got the option then at a later time of adding steering, proper steering. Put a servo there or something. That's the motor in place. So cover will go on it. See the pulley underneath, and we can see the pulley back there as well. So now we need the back axle and the pulley in there, and see if we can link it up together. Nearly there. So we've got our steering that we don't need, motor in place. I've put a drinking straw right the way across the back to hold the wheels far enough out so they don't rub on the bodywork. I'll now cut a hole in the middle of that so we can put the pulley in place. As I expected when I was making it, that pulley is too small, so we really don't get enough power from that little motor. It looks good like that, but if I put it on the floor there isn't enough power to get it going. So I'm going to have to take it apart and make a bigger pulley so we've got a lower gearing. The other thing is to leave enough space for the pulley. I've put the wheels quite well up and we've got very little ground clearance. It is clear, but it's less ground clearance than I intended. Part of that is because these wheels are quite large and it's lifting the front up higher than I expected. And I could rearrange that. I could move these tubes higher up so the wheels sit lower down. But I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to leave it looking like that. I'll probably spray paint this to match the rest of the bodywork. But I need to make a bigger pulley before we can get going. I'll show you it on the floor, but you'll see it's ridiculously slow at the moment. Hardly a drag racer, is it? Still. Well, it does work on the positive side, but it hasn't got enough power in that motor with that gearing to get going. If we had a long enough run, it would eventually pick up speed, because it's like starting off in high gear on your car. It's struggling to get going, but once it's got going, it will speed up.